My name is Jack Spaeth. I'm the Executive Director for the Utica Industrial Development Agency. We're here for a public hearing for the Art Space Utica Lofts LP on behalf of itself and/or the principals of Art Space Utica Lofts LP or an entity formed or to be formed on behalf of any of the foregoing, and a housing development funding company to be formed pursuant to Article 11 of the Private Housing Financing Law of the State of New York and Section 402 of the Not-for-Profit Corporation Law, have applied to the agency to enter into a leaseback transaction in which the agency will assist in one, acquisition of those certain parcels of vacant land located at 1012 Park Avenue, 1018 Park Avenue, and 1022 Park Avenue in the city of Utica, Oneida County, New York. Two, construction on the land of a four-story building measuring approximately 42,640 plus or minus square feet in the aggregate, containing 43 work units, an outdoor plaza, approximately 43 parking spaces, utilities, landscaping, and a path and playground that will connect with the city of Utica planned multi-purpose event space on the adjacent parcel. And three, acquisition and installation of furniture, fixtures, and equipment in the improvements, all to be used for the purpose of providing affordable housing and workspaces to artists and their families, and to connect artists to the Utica community and the to the community. The facility will be initially owned or operated by the company. The HDFC will own the facility as nominee for the company and will, together with the company, enter into a leaseback transaction for the limited purpose of granting a leasehold interest to and accepting a leasehold interest back from the agency. The company and the HDFC will lease the facility to the agency for a term of approximately 32 years. The company will lease the facility back to the company for the lease term, and the company will further sublease the facility to residential tenants to be determined from time to time. At the end of the lease term, the agency will terminate its leasehold interest in the facility. The agency contemplates that it will provide financial assistance to the company in the form of abatement of real property taxes for a period of 32 years, which financial assistance is a deviation from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, to be more particularly described in a final authorizing resolution to be adopted by the agency prior to the closing of the transactions described herein. I'll keep the public hearing open for a period of 15 minutes. So how's your weather up north?
Good now. Yesterday it was like 92 and humid. It was
Wow.
weird. So today now we're entering into the upper 60s, like normal.
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we've been having low 70s, mid 60s weather for the past few weeks, and prior to that was up in the mid 80s.
Yeah,
So
my
it's kind of a
my in-laws were just visiting. They left yesterday. They're in Guilderland, so
yeah.
just outside Albany, and so yeah, they enjoyed our hot weather and went back to other temperatures. But yeah.
This is not, pardon me, it's not that temperature is not typical for you
Oh,
there.
it is, it's fall, you can easily have, I mean, in October, you could have 90 as well, and then you kinda
Right.
go down, and then you go to summer where, like you, where you have the temperatures and you wanna go from, like, 70s or from 80s, 70s, 60s, and somehow you go to 80s to 50s to and you just kinda
Right.
lose it all, so
Bounce all over.
yeah, but we've been very dry here. We had hardly any rain the entire summer, and things are just very dry.
Really.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of agricultural up there?
Yes. Yeah, the southern part of the state, it's kind of the corn, soybean kinda
Right.
large farm type areas, so
And the lack of rain is, I'm sure, has affected them to some degree.
I would think so, but so Yeah. I'll actually be coming out to Utica here, I think, in another month, so
Okay.
to
Yeah,
visit.
when you're out, just,
Yeah.
give us a call so we can at least say hello and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought it would be a good time to come out before, winter hits and I mean, we
Yeah,
get it here
absolutely.
too, but just driving and all that fun stuff.
Right.
But things are moving along well on the project, so we're happy with the progress. Obviously, getting the award of tax credits just made it just go.
Yep, right. Yeah, I hardly ever get anyone from the public
Yeah.
to join in on the public hearings. We had a project, a housing project up in North Utica some years ago, and for all the years that I've been doing this and getting nobody in the audience, besides like myself and yourself or the company representative, there was probably 15 to 20 guys, all with the bright like neon yellow shirts, representing the construction trades from around here, and they were arguing because or pushing, I suppose, because the company was from out in the Albany area doing the project here, but then they didn't feel that the local Syracuse and local union people didn't feel that they were utilizing the local trades enough. So they kind of,
Use it
so
as
here,
opportunity.
yeah, so here I am. I'm, generally it's me and the person, like yourself, having a conversation for 15 minutes. But then now here I am inundated and, caught off guard with, 15, 16 guys. So it went okay and the project went off without a hitch, but it was just,
Yeah, you're not expecting to have.
no, and again, I rarely get anybody from the public.
Yeah. No, quiet is good. I just had another project that was going before a planning commission local project. But thankfully it was like there's a lot of people there, but then mine was put on consent, stayed on consent, just was gone. It was a minor subdivision. It wasn't
Right.
anything substantive. And so that went out. But then one of our colleagues is on the planning commission and that meeting was at 4:30 and she texted me at 7:30 and she said, "The meeting just got over," like 3 hours later. 'Cause there's one project that just had everybody there, and I thought, "Well, at least it wasn't me."
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So I appreciate quiet.
It is a good thing.
Yep.
Well, like 5 minutes more.
Okay. This is where I do appreciate Zoom.
Well, yeah, for um, for something like this, yeah, it's crazy. You figure that if if COVID didn't happen, none of these meetings would really take place. None of for example, the IDAs, all of their public hearings. Now, I don't know if you can see video stream on your screen.
Yeah, I just see the box there.
Yeah. So there's a gentleman that live streams these for me, and then I get the recording and I'll put it onto these to my website as proof of proof of the conversation and everything. But the IDAs are the only authorities that have to live stream every meeting and every public hearing. So the Urban Renewal Agency, which you may have dealt with, or this group or that group, they don't have to. So they hold these WebExes just as a courtesy, because somebody like yourself, hundreds of miles away, it becomes handy. But where would we be? I mean, you'd have to almost pick a local representative to come here if we were just doing still all in person, like we had been doing for years.
Yeah, it's probably I mean, of course, there's certain meetings and there's things, interactions are good in person at time, but there's
Oh,
certain
sure.
things that, because this would have required at least about 2 days of travel for me, if I
Yeah,
wasn't already coming out for another, I
right,
probably would have set up other things, but yeah.
right. But for 15 minutes, that would be crazy.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm in the office I was in the past 2 days in the office, so I'm usually in the office a couple days a week and then
Right.
from home then the rest of the time. It's nice to have the mix.
Yeah. There's um I had my son had gotten COVID back, a year or whatever it was ago, and during the Christmas time. So I've been in, the office pretty much all since, the whole time since COVID originally began.
Yeah.
So,
But if there aren't many people in, then like my boss, he's been in the whole time, but nobody else was, so he had the office to
oh,
himself.
really? Well, yeah, some people are able to work, from home quite a bit, but for myself, I suppose I have too much paper and too much,
Yeah.
files and stuff that I just don't have everything on digitally. So I have to rely on
Yeah.
on other means sometimes. So
I've
it may,
adapted, but,
yeah,
but when my son was home distance learning, that was that was his own challenge, but thankfully they're at school now, so,
yeah, yeah. Same with my daughter.
you
Okay, there being no comments made by anyone from the public, I'm going to close the public hearing. Becky, thank you very much for coming on and doing your project here. We do appreciate it, and we look forward to it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, bye-bye.